I'm Edna, and I live in a village near the edge of the forest. The young girls here are often targeted by big wolves, and these red scarves dyed with madder roots are the only things that protect us.
Edna, we need your help. Ruby got hurt and can't go into the forest. Can you take her place?
Of course I can. Every year, the villagers send a girl into the forest to give offerings to the old witch, hoping she'll bring a bountiful harvest.
You have to hand this basket to her and follow her instructions. And remember, don't lose this red scarf, or the wolves will smell you.
I looked at Ruby, who was supposed to go. She looked at me anxiously, like she wanted to say something. I know going into the forest is dangerous, but I agreed to take Ruby's place because I want to find out what happened to my sister, Sophie, who disappeared 5 years ago. This forest is always foggy, damp and dark, making it hard to tell day from night. The only colours I see are from the mushrooms. I tried picking one, but even though they look pretty, they smell like rotten meat. I saw some bright red flowers too, but I didn't want to pick them anymore. I heard wolves howling all over the forest. I felt like a pair of bloodthirsty eyes were secretly watching me in the dark. But when I turned around, I didn't see anything. I felt really uneasy. I walked a little further and found a bear. It was lying weakly on the ground, with its leg trapped under a big branch. It looked like it had been there for days. I felt sorry for the bear and wanted to help. I tried lifting the branch, but it wasn't as heavy as I thought. While I was using my red riding hood to bandage the bear's leg, it suddenly thanked me. It scared me.
Thank you, kind girl. To thank you, I'll warn you that a wolf is following you.
I surprised, but quickly responding. Don't worry, I have this red scarf. The wolf won't be able to find me.
No one who's been targeted by the wolf can escape.
Don't worry, I'll go to the witch's house right away. I'll be safe there. I finally found the wooden house in the middle of the forest.
Come in.
The whole house smelled damp and cold. Mushrooms were growing on the corners of the walls and next to the table, making the house seem like it was part of the forest outside. It didn't feel warm or safe at all. It seemed like the owner of this house was very lonely. My name is Edna. The villagers sent me to visit you. Are you sick?
Yes, I'm sick. So please let me lie in bed and don't come near me.
I thought fresh food might make the old woman feel better. But when I opened the basket, all the food was rotten. This is strange. It shouldn't take more than half a day to get here from the village. How could the food go bad so quickly?
You must be hungry. I've made you a mushroom soup.
I did as she said and opened the pot of soup, but the soup inside was dark and thick, with a fishy smell that made me want to throw up. I don't make the old woman sad. I secretly poured the soup away. The soup was delicious. Thank you for dinner. The lonely old woman wanted me to stay with her for the night. But in the middle of the night, I was woken up by the sound of her whispering with someone. Curious, I looked towards the door. The person I thought was an old woman had a face exactly like my sister. Sophie.
Hansel, you're late.
That girl dropped her red scarf, which made me lose track and eat a corpse. It was disgusting.
She ate the mushroom soup and fell asleep. Just like our agreement. You take the soul, and I take the body.
Was my poor sister possessed like this too? My whole body froze, and I ran out of that scary house, trembling. It turned out that the sacrifice wasn't the offerings I brought, but myself. I have to escape this forest and expose the horrible truth to the villagers. The bright red flowers from the day were actually dried pools of blood. and the colourful mushrooms grew from them. They were the ones causing the hallucinations. It seems these mushrooms were the real cause of the illusions. I met the bear I had saved again, but it had been dead for days, its body rotting, its stomach ripped open. Suddenly, a cold wind rushed by, making my hair stand on end. Hansel had caught my scent. Terrified and desperate, I tried to back away from the evil creature. My hand crushed a cluster of mushrooms. These mushrooms, although they caused me to hallucinate, also made me stronger. I recklessly grabbed the whole cluster and ate them greedily. A feeling of dizziness washed over me. A sense of power filled my entire body. I stubbornly charged forward and attacked, stabbing the village chief in the eye, making him scream in pain. After taking down the wolf, I ran away, but Sophie blocked my path. Her body had rotted, turning into a giant, hideous mushroom. I picked up the bear bone and rushed to fight, but the person in front of me was just an illusion. Confused, I looked at my hand, and suddenly my stomach felt like it was being pierced through with pain. The feeling of pain pulled me out of the hallucination. It turned out I was just struggling in vain. That bastard Hansel had caught me, taken over me. My body was being enveloped by the mushrooms. I could clearly feel my soul being gradually sucked away. There was no more pain, no more torment, only a numbness that led to death.
I know how this sounds. I really do. But before you judge me, just hear me out. I'm not insane. I'm just devoted. Sydney Sweetie isn't just some actress to me. She's a living myth. The last real star in a sea of filters and AI-generated fame. Her smile feels like warmth after frostbite. Her voice lingers in your head hours after an interview ends. She's flawless, but not plastic. She's there, raw and real, just far enough out of reach to keep you dreaming. I never missed a post. A new role, a red carpet look, an interview where she'd push hair behind her ear. I memorized it all. She was my ideal, my muse, my impossible maybe. She made me feel wild. So when I saw the announcement that Sydney had partnered with Dr. Squeech to release a limited edition soap, Bathwater Blizz, made with her actual bathwater, I thought it was a joke, a marketing stunt. But it wasn't. Only 5,000 bars made, limited to one per customer, launching June 6th at 10 a.m. sharp. I prepared like I was buying tickets to heaven. 3 alarms, 2 browsers open, a full cup of coffee and my credit card memorized. It sold out in under 60 seconds. I stared at the screen, disbelief morphing into panic. I'd missed my only chance. No way. I refreshed eBay like a gambler with a hot hand. 10 minutes later, boom, one real listing, factory sealed, verified, $300. I waited 3 days. Every hour crawled. When it arrived, the box was a soft, aquatic blue, clean and minimalist. Bathwater Blizz, limited edition, was printed in crisp white, centered beneath a silver water droplet that seemed to shimmer faintly, like it was watching me. The moment I cracked it open, the scent hit me like a dream colliding with reality. Floral, but not fake. Creamy, but not sugary. Something clean. Something salty. Something alive. The bar was smooth, glossy, almost too perfect to touch. I ran my fingers across it like it might sing. Then I leaned in, slowly, and breathed it in. The world stopped. I saw her. Not in the room, not exactly. Maybe in my head, clear as glass. Sydney, damp hair clinging to her cheeks, water trickling down her face, eyes soft and searching. She didn't smile. She didn't move. She just looked at me. Then she was gone. Just a flash, like sunlight in your eyes. I stumbled back a step, blinking hard. My hand still gripped the soap like a relic. My pulse thumped through my fingertips. She was real. That moment was real. I had to try it. I drew a bath, water hot enough to fog the mirror. I didn't like candles or play music. I wanted silence. I wanted her. The soap lathered with ease, thick and pearlescent, like it melted into me. The scent swelled in the heat, enveloping everything. It was like she was there. Not as a ghost, as a presence, something intelligent, watching. I sat still. My mind drifted. The foam wrapped my arms, clung to my chest, ran between my fingers like silk, and with every pass of the soap, the scent grew deeper, denser. My thoughts unraveled. I wasn't alone. A pressure formed just behind me, gentle but real, like someone brushing past in a crowd. I froze. The water rippled. Breath touched the nape of my neck.
You've wanted this.
Someone whispered. I couldn't speak. My mind was buzzing and numb all at once. I stayed there for a long time. When I finally stood up, my skin tingled. The scent clung to me like a second skin. I pressed the bar to my chest. I couldn't put it down. I didn't dry off. I didn't get dressed. I walked straight to bed, still damp, still holding it. Sleep took me instantly. I woke up in a fog. My sheets were damp. My hands still gripped the soap like I'd clutched it all night. Then came the itch. First on my forearm, then my ribs, my scalp, my thighs. I sat up, confused, scratching. Looked down. My skin was covered in small red bumps, raised and inflamed. I stumbled into the bathroom, turned on the light. The bumps moved. I leaned closer. My stomach flipped. On the surface of one, just one, I saw a tiny, perfectly formed face. Delicate cheekbones, full lips, wide eyes, her face. I yelped and staggered back, nearly falling into the tub. But curiosity pulled me forward again. More bumps, more faces. They stared at me, silent. Some smiled, some frowned, some just watched. My heart pounded like a drum. I turned on the faucet and shoved the soap under it, lathering until my skin went raw. But the bumps didn't fade. They pulsed. They multiplied. I rubbed harder. My arms bled. Still they smiled. Then the lights flickered. The mirror fogged without heat. No steam. Just cold breath on glass. And she was there. Sydney. Not a vision. Not a reflection. Something else. She sat in a dark tub, green water rising to her collarbone. Her skin was smooth and wet, but her eyes were wrong. Too wide. Too empty. She opened her mouth.
You wanted a part of me. Now I'm taking what's mine.
I blinked. She was closer. The soap slipped from my hand. I couldn't move. Fingertips pressed against my spine. A voice purred into my ear.
Let me clean you. Let me purify you.
I didn't resist. I couldn't. Her hands dragged the soap across my arms, my chest, my face, her voice lilted with venom.
You bought me like a product, a souvenir. You wore my scent like a second skin. How does it feel? Using a woman's bathwater?
Her voice was soft, but it slithered down my spine like ice.
Do you feel powerful now?
She pressed her fingers into my sores. They burst like blisters, oozing heat and sound, whispers. I heard her memories, casting calls, harsh lights, men's voices, clinical and cruel.
Smile wider.
Lose 5 pounds.
Don't talk unless you're asked.
And always, you're perfect. You're perfect. You're perfect.
Men like you.
She leaned close, her voice turning bitter, acidic.
You're all the same. Greedy little pigs pretending it's love.
Sydney's nails scraped down my back. My skin peeled like tissue.
You bought a piece of me, and now I own you. You disgusting little thing. Let me scrub you.
I woke up alone, soaked, trembling. The soap was gone, the water drained. My skin, smooth, clean, as if nothing had happened. But the mirror told the truth. I wasn't there, only her, sitting in the tub, smiling, mouthing the word.
Next one.
Once upon a time, they called the younger stepsister a goblin, until the day she began chiseling herself into a princess. I used to think that love could forgive anything, even a face like mine. People called me names when I was little. Goblin girl, plump elf, crooked nose freak. I got used to it. I buried myself in books and wrote poems under the sheets at night, stringing together words about a prince I'd never meet. But then he came along, Prince Han. He wrote verses more beautiful than I ever could. I clipped his poems from the Castle Gazette and hid them in a box beneath my bed. I told myself, if someone like him could write like that, then maybe he could also see beyond the surface of things. That hope kept me warm. After my mother passed away, I stayed behind in the manor, living with my stepsister Cinderella. Cinderella was born lovely. Thin lips, pale skin, the kind of effortless beauty that earned glances from strangers before she even spoke. She was kind to me, in the way one is kind to a younger sister. But kindness isn't the same as understanding. When people looked at the two of us, they assumed who was chosen and who was forgotten. Then came the day in the woods. I had only wandered beneath the trees, hoping the quiet might soothe me, when distant laughter broke through the stillness. It was Prince Han and his hunting party, all dressed in silks and boasting about their exploits. One of them asked what kind of girl Han liked, and he didn't even pause.
Sharp angles, wide eyes, lashes like fans, a high nose, porcelain skin, a tiny waist, and a fragile frame. That was the kind of beauty I wanted. And in the end, I was the one who set the standard for this entire kingdom.
Then they laughed, the kind of laughter that feels like teeth. He turned suddenly, his gaze landing on the trees where I crouched behind a trunk. His smile didn't falter.
And of course, only beautiful girls need apply. The ugly ones shouldn't even bother.
They roared again, louder this time, like hunters circling something they never meant to show mercy to. I didn't cry. I went home. That night, I stood in front of the mirror and made a promise. If beauty was the only language the prince understood, then I would learn it. I would speak it fluently. And so I began. Every morning, I pulled my corset so tight that it left raw lines across my belly. I fainted twice before noon during that first week. Then I visited the cosmetic apothecaries in the capital, trading family jewels for syringes, scalpels, and sterile hooks. They molded my face like clay, slicing, stitching, stretching. My nose was clamped in a metal brace until it bled. My lashes were sewn into place with threads so thin it shimmered in candlelight. My jaw was shaved to look sharper. Though the pain was unbearable, I clenched my teeth and endured it, whispering to myself that it would all pass, so long as it made me beautiful. I didn't stop eating. I couldn't. But I found another way. There's a trick with tapeworms, you see. You swallow the eggs and they eat for you. Your stomach shrinks and you still feel full. I told myself it was clever. Cinderella saw what I was doing. She begged me to stop, held my wrists as I trembled with pain after a facial nerve spasm.
You don't need to do this.
You were born beautiful. You'll never understand what it means to be told, every day, that you are less than human because of your face. She didn't reply. She just stood there, guilt pressing against her silence. The royal ball arrived. I walked in with a waist as slim as my breath, lips painted in a trembling curve. For once, people stared, no longer with pity or revulsion, but with admiration. Han looked at me and smiled. He asked me to dance. I floated toward the floor on fragile heels, my heart light, as if I were stepping into a dream finally made real. But then she arrived, Cinderella. Her dress shimmered like mist, her presence swallowing every eye in the room. Han turned and I watched his gaze drift, then fix, then hunger. He dropped my hand as if I were never there. He asked her to dance. I stood at the edge, shivering beneath my borrowed beauty, and felt something cave inside me. I fled before the first chord of the waltz. Cinderella chased me home. In her rush, she lost a shoe on the palace steps. Glass, delicate, absurd. Han picked it up, his eyes gleaming with the thrill of a hunter who had just caught the scent of something rare. When he pushed me away. My chest tightened, and suddenly, all the pain I had endured felt meaningless. Was it all truly for someone like the prince? The tears streamed down my face, unstoppable. Cinderella had picked up the other shoe and slammed it into Han's head. He collapsed. We tied him to a chair in the basement, his mouth gagged, eyes wide with disbelief. He looked at us like we were the monsters.
No more suffering in silence. He'll understand what he made us become.
We began. We used the same tools they'd used on us. Surgical thread, nose clamps, heated bone pressers. I kept the iron rods steady as Cinderella quietly sewed his eyelids wider, murmuring poems that sounded all too familiar, perhaps even mine. With each pulled thread, each careful slice along his skin, I saw the echoes of a pain I had once survived. He wept through it all. By the time we were done, his face was grotesque, exaggerated, hollow, warped by the very standards he once worshipped. We didn't stay. We packed the jewelry, wrapped our wounds, and left the kingdom behind. Somewhere far, I hoped, there might be a place where beauty wasn't currency, where people like me didn't have to carve themselves into someone else's fantasy. Cinderella held my hand as we walked, and for the first time, I believed her when she said I was beautiful. Perhaps there was never any true standard of beauty at all. I didn't need to please the prince or anyone else. I only needed to be myself.
I woke up gasping, drenched in sweat, hands clutching my throat like I was choking. It was just a dream. That's what I kept telling myself. But the pain in my neck felt real, like something had been stretched, like I had been hanged and survived. In the dream, my neck had stretched, impossibly long, like an eel gliding through the dark. I floated weightless, led by my own head through the night, past sliding doors and into the garden. That's where I saw them. My husband and a girl, no older than 20. She giggled at something he whispered. He brushed her cheek the way he used to brush mine, and then they kissed, bold and unashamed. Except I was there, or at least my head was. And when he noticed it, my face, my floating head, he screamed and swung his katana. A blur of silver flashed, and I woke up. I sat there, knees drawn to my chest, watching him sleep. His breath was slow, steady, undisturbed, like he hadn't just appeared in my nightmare with another woman. The image still burned behind my eyes. A nightmare, I told myself. A trick of the mind. But deep down, I knew better. That wasn't a dream, it was a warning. In the days that followed, I began to see it. The scent of strange incense on his robes, not the kind I burned for the altar or wore on my sleeves. It lingered, delicate and wrong. One evening, folding his inner kimono, I noticed a faint red smear along the collar. At first, I thought it was crushed plum blossom, but when I touched it, it smeared Benny, lip dye, the kind worn by young courtesans. He laughed when I asked.
Probably from the crowd by the river. Some drunk girl stumbled too close.
But I knew. No one touches a magistrate's robes, not by accident. When I confronted him, he smiled. Not with guilt, but with calm dismissal.
Your mind is too wild. You'll drive yourself mad with superstition. You'll make yourself sick.
Later, I overheard him whispering to his mother, saying I was losing my balance, that I might need rest. She pulled me aside in the garden days later, her hand cold on my wrist.
You mustn't let jealousy consume you. Wear your crimson kimono again. Put on makeup the way he used to like.
I wanted to scream. I wanted to tear my head from my shoulders and fling it at the wall. But I didn't. I bowed. I smiled. I poured tea like a good wife. And every night I dreamed of my neck growing longer, slithering through darkness, creeping toward truth. No one believed me. Not the other women at the market, not the shrine maiden I sought for advice. They all spun the same tale, that I was unstable, that I was unraveling. And he was the victim of a clingy, insecure wife. Then came the night. He was unusually tender. He brought me tea himself, said it was a calming blend from Kyoto.
For your nerves.
He smiled. I should have known. The taste was bitter, unfamiliar, but I drank it anyway, because I still wanted to believe him. I collapsed near the hallway, and from the corner of my fading vision, I saw him, standing over me, watching. Then, darkness. When I awoke, I couldn't move. My arms hung useless, my throat burned. From rope. He had strung me up from the ceiling beam. My body swayed gently, helplessly. I could hear him moving in the other room, opening jars, striking flint. The scent of lantern oil filled the air. He was setting the house on fire. The flames moved quickly, licking through the shoji walls, devouring everything we built. Smoke poured in, thick and choking. My lungs heaved, but the noose bit deeper. I should have died, but I didn't. Not yet. In that moment between fire and breath, I felt something rise in me. A pull, a pressure. My spine cracked, my throat expanded, my neck stretched. It didn't stop, longer and longer. Until my feet touched the floor again, though I still hung. Until the rope no longer choked me, only the memory of it. Drifting upward, my neck snaking through the fire like a silk banner of death. I slipped out of the burning frame, silent and weightless, into the cold night. Later, the neighbors whispered. They said they saw something rise from the fire. A woman's head, a twisting neck, a floating curse. They gave it a name, Rokurakubi. I became a breath beneath the door, a shadow above the futon, a nightmare woven into tatami. I whispered to unfaithful men. I curled my neck through their walls. I watched them shatter one by one. But the man I was looking for, he had vanished. Until that night, I found him in a new town, a new house, a new wife, pregnant. He still wore that smug, gentle face, the one he used when lying, when controlling. He had rebuilt his life. But I had not forgotten. That night, I slipped through the floorboards of their home. She lay asleep beside him, her belly full. He snored softly, unaware. I hovered above him, my neck stretched like a vine, my face inches from his. His eyes opened, and he screamed. He lunged for the katana beneath the futon, the same katana he once threatened me with in silence. He swung, steel met phantom flesh. My head fell to the tatami with a soft thud. Then it turned and smiled, because you cannot kill what you've already murdered. The woman stirred beside him.
What's happening?
My neck began to coil. Around his legs, his waist, his arms, his throat. It slithered tight, and then
It rotted. Flesh decayed on contact, black veins blooming beneath his skin. His body shuddered. The face on the floor, mine, began to crack. The eyes clouded, the skin peeled, the mouth opened. I looked at them both, his frozen terror, her rising scream, and whispered, "I will always come back, because my neck still stretches, and the longer it grows, the closer I get, and you cannot escape your karma."
Life felt like a luxurious dream, each whim effortlessly satisfied by the wealthy men, enchanted by my youthful charm and beauty. Being a sugar baby had its perks: exclusive apartments, designer dresses, first-class vacations, and extravagant gifts. I was admired, pampered, and envied. And whenever a patron failed to fulfill my increasingly lavish desires, I moved swiftly and effortlessly onto the next, my heart untouched, my conscience clear. This time, my target was Kurt, a celebrated fabric collage artist, renowned for transforming simple cloth into mesmerizing works of art. He was a man whose immense wealth far surpassed that of anyone I had ever been with. But more than just buying me expensive things, he spoke to me as if I was something rare, something precious.
Jess, you're my muse. I want to show you something no one else has seen. My sanctuary. Come with me to Paradise Island.
The name itself thrilled me. I imagined private beaches, candlelit dinners, a sun-soaked villa filled with art and opulence. Giddy, I told my best friend about it that same night. Her reaction, however, was not what I expected. She asked, her voice hushed,
"Are you sure this is a good idea? I've heard weird things about Kurt. Girls who dated him before. They just disappeared, deleted their socials, cut off everyone."
I laughed it off. Who wouldn't want to disappear from social media when they're actually living it up in some lavish mansion? Ignoring my best friend's warnings, I decided to go with Kurt. The yacht ride to the island filled me with anticipation. And when we finally arrived, I was left almost speechless. The lavish old mansion rose majestically from the lush greenery, like something pulled straight from a dream. It was beyond anything I had imagined. I didn't see the way Kurt watched me from behind, not with affection, but with something colder, more calculating. Inside, the mansion was filled with fabric portraits, hundreds of them, each one a depiction of a woman, crafted from layers of different textiles that somehow captured the unique beauty of every face. They looked startlingly lifelike. I had no idea what kind of fabric Kurt used, but it looked uncannily like real skin. Drawn by curiosity, I stepped closer to one of the pieces and instinctively reached out to touch it.
Please don't. They're very special to me.
I lowered my hand, offering a polite smile. They're stunning. They almost look real.
That's because they are.
I assumed he meant emotionally real, artistically compelling. I didn't question it. The first few days were bliss. Sunbathing, drinking wine on the terrace, long conversations about beauty and inspiration. But then, little things began to unsettle me. While swimming in the pool, I spotted an earring lying at the bottom, delicate, old-fashioned, and completely out of place. At night, I heard tapping on my window, and once when I pulled back the curtains, there was the faint imprint of a hand, smeared and ghostly, pressed against the glass. In the bathroom, The water sometimes ran black for a second before turning clear again. I told Kurt. He smiled calmly.
Old plumbing, tropical animals. Nothing to worry about.
But I was worried, more than worried. I wanted to leave.
Just let me finish your portrait. One more day. Then I'll take you back.
That night, I dreamed of a woman crawling toward me on all fours. Her body twisted, her face missing. She whispered something that chilled me even in sleep.
Get out! Before he gets you too!
I woke up in a cold sweat and packed my bags. I didn't care about the painting or the promise of paradise anymore. I just wanted out. Everything felt terrifying. Nothing about this place was normal. As I crept through the darkened hallway, the portraits on the walls seemed different. Their eyes followed me. Their expressions, once serene, were now pleading. I paused in front of a new painting, one I hadn't seen before. The girl was young, beautiful, her mouth slightly parted like she wanted to scream. It smelled wrong, like rust and something sweet rotting underneath. I reached out despite myself. The canvas felt soft. A lock of real hair fluttered to the ground. The painted skin peeled at my touch, wet, red, and warm. I screamed. Then Kurt was there.
Where are you going, Jess? Your portrait isn't finished.
I turned and ran. I slipped through the nearest door, not caring where it led. All I knew was that I had to get away from Kurt. Every cell in my body screamed that something about him was dangerously wrong. The room was littered with scraps of fabric, but they weren't just ordinary cloth. They had fallen from what was left of bodies. I looked down and saw her, a girl my age, her eyes wide open and unblinking. Her skin had been peeled away in strips, revealing raw muscle and exposed bone. Beside her, her hair was tied neatly in a ribbon, like a prop. Realization crashed over me, shattering every illusion I'd held dear. Kurt hadn't simply immortalized beauty on canvas. He trapped it cruelly within layers of paint, flesh, and agony. All those silent, beautiful girls, forever frozen, were now masterpieces on his walls. Kurt stepped into the room, holding a knife and a sewing needle. He walked to the body and began to work, gently applying her flesh to a canvas, humming as if lost in thought.
She was lovely, but you, Jess, you'll be the masterpiece.
He looked at me with admiration, not malice, as if he truly believed what he said.
You should feel honored to be remembered forever, to never fade.
I backed away, hands shaking. My scream rose and was swallowed by the thick, silent walls. No one knew I was here. No one would come looking. Paradise Island was a graveyard, and soon I'd be another face on the wall, watching, forever silent, forever pleading. Run. While you still can. Mukbang was everywhere. Everyone was doing it. Every time I opened YouTube, someone was stuffing food into their mouth like they were on a timer. The louder the slurping, the more views. I figured if they could do it, I could too. I set the lights, curated a pastel aesthetic, a table full of noodles, mochi, chicken wings, sauce dripping like blood. Then, reality hit. I didn't even make it through 1/5 of the spread. My stomach clenched. I vomited midstream. No one watched. No one cared. That night, I realized something cruel and honest. Normal doesn't trend anymore. People don't follow you because you're good. They follow you because you're memorable. Weird. Uncomfortable. Unforgettable. So I pivoted to makeup. Beauty content always had loyal eyes. I wasn't a guru, but I knew enough. Contour tricks, dewy foundation, liner wings sharp enough to kill. I started going live, trying looks, doing get ready with me, whispering affirmations with fake confidence. And then it happened. In the middle of one stream, while demonstrating a serum dropper, a drop slipped past my lips. It tasted like perfume and ammonia. I gagged, my face twisted in revulsion. The comments exploded. They called it iconic, chaotic energy, too real. I didn't expect it to go viral, but the next day, the clip had over 600,000 views. People shared it, memed it, reenacted it. She ate the glow. Me accidentally eating shampoo as a kid. For the first time in my life, I was trending. PR packages started arriving. Lipsticks, masks, foundation sticks, perfume oils. Brands asked me to unbox, to review, to smile prettier. I felt like I'd made it. But fame is like sugar on the tongue. Sweet, fast, and then gone. A week later, views tanked again. The brands moved on. The inbox went dry. I paced my tiny apartment, eyes twitching from caffeine and ring light glare. I needed to be shocking again. I needed something grotesquely beautiful. What if I combined mukbang with makeup? The first time was rough. I applied blush, posed for the camera, and bit into the compact. The powder crumbled in my teeth, dry and bitter like old chalk. My tongue went numb. My throat itched. I forced a smile. It smells good. I lied. So it must taste good, right? I edited it to perfection. Bright filters, jazz music, kawaii overlays. Then I uploaded. Next morning, 2.7 million views. People were horrified and obsessed. Some mocked me. Some called me mentally ill. But others thought I was faking it. It's just candy shaped like makeup. She's trolling. No way she actually ate that. The crunch sound is edited. They thought I was a liar, so I decided to prove them wrong. I scheduled a live stream. Real makeup mukbang, nothing fake. Watch me eat. I arranged the table like a banquet from hell. A lip gloss charcuterie. Sheet masks folded like crepes. Serum-filled wine glasses. Cotton pads soaked in toner, stacked like macarons. The viewers flooded in. 20k viewers, 50k, 90k. I raised a lipstick to my mouth, bit down. The wax snapped like bone. Bitter oil filled my mouth. I chewed slowly, staring straight into the lens. Comments flew by. She's actually doing it. WTF. Art? This is art. The more I ate, the easier it got. I found textures I liked. Glossy, velvety, crumbly. There was something deeply satisfying about it, like I was feeding a hunger I never knew existed. My body didn't like it. Not at first. I got dizzy. My tongue swelled. My stomach felt like it was lined with fire. But I didn't stop, because the numbers kept rising. I was finally being seen. The brands dropped me, of course. Some sent cease and desists. Others ghosted me. But new people found me. Dark corners of the web that celebrated extremity. They dared me to go further. Drink setting spray. Eat a face mask whole. Let's see you swallow glitter. And I did. Every time. Soon, I couldn't go a day without it. Off camera, I snacked on powder compacts. I kept a palette by my bedside like comfort food. My skin turned raw. Red patches crept up my neck. My eyes leaked. I scratched until I bled, but I covered it up. With more makeup. Always more makeup. For my magnum opus, I planned the beauty banquet. I spent days curating it, baking foundation into cookies, melting lipstick into sauces, turning mascara into syrup. I lit candles, adjusted the camera, scheduled the live stream. When I went live, 100,000 people joined within minutes. The chat screamed. Some were terrified. Some were mesmerized. I was high on validation. I bit into a sponge. It tasted like heaven. My throat tingled. My chest bloomed with warmth. I kept eating. Then, I noticed the rash. Tiny red dots swelling into blisters. My skin was bubbling. My neck looked like boiling wax. Comments flooded. Is this makeup or disease? Filter? No filter? Turn off the stream. But I couldn't stop. I was so close to hitting 1 million live views. So I smiled, teeth smeared with glitter, and swallowed another mask. Then it hit. My throat clenched, like fingers inside me twisting. I couldn't breathe. My vision spiraled. I reached for water, but my arm didn't respond. It just dangled, twitching, like a broken puppet. I collapsed, face first into the table of cosmetics. My cheek burst open on the corner of an eyeliner tube. Blood mixed with blush. The comments kept flowing. Is this performance art? OMG, she's actually dying. Call someone? But no one did. Now I live in fragments, in clips, in sound bites, in every girl who thinks a little glitter in her soup might be cute. You think I'm gone? I'm not. I'm in your algorithm, in every viral makeup prank, in every beauty challenge that goes just a little too far. So next time someone eats something for laughs, next time you watch and say, she's just faking it, remember me, because I wasn't faking. And once you let attention inside, it never stops eating.
I dreamed of the crown since I was little, but no one told me that to wear it I'd have to sell my skin, my blood, my name, and eventually even my smile. My name is Rachel. I grew up in a 10-square-meter slum apartment with a leaky roof and rats that gnawed the corners of our rice bags. While other kids played doctor or teacher, I practiced smiling in a cracked mirror, whispering answers to imaginary beauty pageant questions. I didn't dream of fame. I dreamed of escape. From debt, from hunger, from the burning shame on my mother's face every time we borrowed rice. I believed the crown could be a way out, that beauty could be my one currency in a world that charged interest on being poor. So when they came to me, corporate-looking men with briefcases and practiced smiles, I didn't hesitate. They said,
"We've paved the road for you. You become Miss National, then an influencer, live stream beauty products, a stable career. Just one condition. We implant neural interface to keep your performance optimal."
They called it a win-win. I called it salvation. The training began immediately. For 3 months, I was kept in a white facility where my posture, speech, and even eye-blinking rate were corrected. There were no clocks, no windows, only bright lighting and cameras. Every time I messed up, flubbed a line, missed a smile cue, the neural wires shocked me. Not sharp pain. Number A,
searing current that jolted through my spine like my bones were melting. At first I cried, then I screamed, but no one came, so I learned to stop resisting. And then I learned to smile. The investors came next, powerful men, silent, evaluating. They sat in rooms where I served wine and compliments, where my job was to amuse, flatter, obey. My manager whispered.
This is part of the journey. They made you, now you entertain them.
I nodded, not out of agreement, out of instinct, because hesitation meant another electric jolt. A reminder, I was no longer a person, I was a product. My value was in performance, in packaging, in pliability. I won the crown that winter, the lights, the applause, the televised tears. I became the nation's sweetheart. My face appeared on magazines, milk cartons, digital billboards. The whole country celebrated the fairy tale, the poor girl who became a queen. But the real coronation came later, alone, in a locked hotel suite. Instead of jewels, they handed me a live stream rig, a ring light, a branded bathrobe. The crown stayed on, but it wasn't authentic. I never felt its weight until that night.
Time to earn back your value,
they said. I was now the face of Serum X99, a skin-whitening miracle. I sold it every night for 4 hours straight, smiling, winking, thanking thousands of fans for their purchases. I laughed. I shared skincare tips. I told anecdotes carefully written for me. The neural interface was still in me, now so deep they twitched when I breathed. Sometimes I felt them pulsing under my skin like living vines, coiled into my nervous system. I asked when they'd remove them.
When your audience retention drops,
they replied. They didn't need to say more. I understood. As long as I was profitable, I was theirs. One night, I accidentally dropped a bottle of serum backstage. It cracked open, oozing something thick, veiny, twitching, alive. I screamed. The system zapped me. Don't overreact. Keep smiling. Was I selling cosmetics or curses? Every jar I shipped could have carried something grotesque. But the fans believed. They trusted me. They adored me, and that made it worse. I tried to pull the wires out once, locked myself in a bathroom, yanked a connector near my forehead. My vision blurred. Blood mixed with static. I lost all sensation in my left arm for hours. They found me, reattached the wires, increased the voltage, cut my rations. I wasn't punished with prison. I was punished with performance. You are valuable, but replaceable. That night I cried without making a sound. Even my sobs had to be beautiful. So I went live one last time, but not to sell. My name is Rachel, I told the camera. I'm not free. I'm controlled. Everything you've bought from me is a lie. Please, help me. They reported my video. Within hours, my name was scrubbed from the internet. My pageant footage deleted. My fan pages gone. My face blurred in photos. My existence turned into a glitch in the system. They yanked out my neural interface, violently, without anesthetic. My skin tore, my memory fragmented. And then they replaced me. A new girl, younger, brighter, paler, shinier. She wore my dresses, my smile. She called herself Rachel 2.0.
Sister Rachel is taking a break.
She giggled.
I'll carry her legacy.
The fans believed her. They moved on like I was a software update. Now I rent a mouldy room in the outer slums. No crown, no fans, just my bruised body and a cheap burner phone. I can still feel the ghost of the threads, phantom pain twitching beneath my skin. Every month I must pay rent, so I go on live stream again,